That afternoon, Thomas had to collect some paint for the bridge. Thomas puffed into the yard and backed up to the paint trucks. But Diesel was in the yard too. "Now I'll show Thomas who's best," Diesel whispered, and he gave the trucks an extra hard shunt. Paint pots flew into the air and splattered down all over Thomas. There was green paint, yellow paint, and red paint. Thomas looked very silly indeed. "Stripy boiler," laughed Diesel, and he rolled away. "I'll show those Diesels," puffed Thomas. So the next time Thomas saw Harry, he gave him a biff. And when Harry saw James, he gave him a bump. Soon the Diesels and the Steamies were biffing and banging and being bumped all over the island. The engines were in a terrible mess. Everyone needed a good washdown, and no work had been done. That evening, the Fat Controller came to see the engines. "You have caused confusion, Angele," the Fat Controller said. "The bridge isn't painted, and we will not be able to open the airport. No holidaymakers will come to Sodor this year," he added sternly. All the engines were sad. "No holidaymakers?" moaned Thomas. "And no aeroplanes," groaned Percy. "And now you will never move out of my sheds," puffed Emily. All of the engines were miserable. And that night, they dreamed about what might happen to them if no holidaymakers came to Sodor. The engines were all very worried that they wouldn't be useful anymore. James was dreaming about the fairground. James dreamt that he was a coconut shy. Lots of children were lining up, and so was the Fat Controller. The children threw lots of balls at James, and one even knocked the coconut out of his funnel. "I don't like this," groaned James. "I was much happier when I was a clean and shiny engine." But it wasn't only James who was having a bad dream. Gordon was having a bad dream too. Gordon dreamt he was put in a playground. Children were swinging on him. They slid down his slide, and they climbed all over him. "The indignity," puffed Gordon. "I wish I was a proper engine again." Edward dreamt he was a scarecrow. He sat in a field, up to his axles in mud. And Farmer McColl didn't seem to care. But Percy had the worst dream of all. He dreamt he was a roller coaster ride. He rattled up the rickety rails and all the way down again. "Bust my boiler," wailed Percy.